So now we are installing the motor inside the plane. Normally I would use an MR30 connector, but unfortunately I don't have any on hand. So because the wire is a bit short, it's just barely short that we cannot solder it, I will splice them, not splice them, but like extend them a little bit so that I can get like the iron here, solder them and then put them together inside. Yes, beautiful. And now we can just put the heat shrink. Now the next thing that I have to do is just insert this in the fuselage. So we can do that now, like that. Yes, like that. Pretty clean. Yeah, one has to be really careful when soldering on foam, because it's so easy to make a hole. So now we have the electronics wired in. The first thing to do is actually to glue the underside fin, because this will not be removed anymore. Clean the surface a little bit. We put glue on the tail. X6000 works really great for this stuff, because it's like, it's not hard, it's not brittle, you know, it remains soft. So we glue this on the wing. So here we go. Yes, we don't have excess glue, that's beautiful. Here we have the fin. Very nice. So with the fin installed, we can glue the parts that will hold the tail. Just put glue everywhere. We do the same for the tail. Beautiful. We also put the cap on the glue because we don't want the glue on the workbench. Not so cool. Then we just insert it where it should go and wiggle it into place. Yeah, like this. Now the next step is to cut the foam away from here to fit these 3D printed parts. So for this, like the designer that I will also put in the description was very smart, because you can use, I don't know if you see, but like there is a line here where it's like the part that covers the antenna, and you can use that line to cut the piece away to put this in. So very useful. Same thing on the other side. So now that we have the two joints, 3D printer joints for the tail glued in both sides, so we can see that like I had to cut away some of the AP and then glue them in. Not the best actually, because it's quite hard to have the geometry correct, and I had to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue here because there was a gap, but yeah, I guess it will work. Now we have to insert the antennas. We have an horizontal antenna here, very good to the sides, like that, yeah. And then the second antenna will be placed just below vertical. So when the fins is like that, this antenna here will offer good coverage like all around. And then we can put the second antenna down here, push it down, we put the receiver inside, making sure the cables are inside. Yeah, wonderful, like this with the connector here. Last things to do, we need to attach the GPS. So the GPS will be just on the top of the flight controller. For this build I had GPS problems, so my advice for that is two things. First of all, take the wire of the GPS and put it as far away as possible from any other electronics, especially the servo wires and ESC wires. Why the servo wires? Because they have a PWM square signal that will absolutely noise the out of the GPS power supply, and this will make the GPS not work correctly. The second thing you can do is to twist the wire like this. This will reduce the voltage induced on this wire and thus the noise. And the second thing is to buy a tape like this one on AliExpress. Just make sure it's conductive, and you can wrap it on the wire. If you really want to make the best setup possible, you have to ground this shielding. So just take a piece of GND somewhere, put it along these wires, and then wrap it so that it conducts all the noise out of here. Attach the receiver here. Very beautiful stack. The GPS, flight controller, and everything. Wait, I will put some light. Yes, like this. For the USB extender and Wi-Fi adapter. Stick it on it, clean where we want the glue, like that. And here we go. Now we have a beautiful Wi-Fi USB adapter here that's easily reachable, doesn't interfere with anything, pretty handy. Now we are gonna do the part of the camera. So for this we have the 04 air unit from DJI, two TPU adapters, and the front cage of the Chupito. So this gauge actually slides into the nose. This is up, this is down, and you can mount your like VTX here, your camera. It's quite a cool concept. I like that they made a lot of holes so you can mount pretty much everything. Same for the camera. Very cool. First thing first, let's open up the 04 air unit, and we can just slide it in. Should make a click. Yeah, wonderful. So one, and then we can just like slide it here like that, and then screw it on. Another thing that was very smart from TBS is that they made like these parts and also the motor mounts out of glass fiber. So this is glass fiber, not carbon fiber, and that's very clever because like if you made this in carbon fiber, you would actually block the signal. So now we can mount the antenna in a very easy way inside here, and that's pretty cool. We need to take out this connector. Okay, now we can slide this in, and we can already attach this the cable on the top. So I have my Magic M2 box here, and we can use something like 4 millimeters maybe. That should be plenty. Yes. Now we can see that we have isolation, so like from vibration, side to side, up, down. That's quite nice. And then the camera in the middle. So very clean, like that. Now we can mount the 04. I have to buy like some additional batteries for the camera, because I'm charging it between shots when I don't film, but it's really not amazing. So I think the better thing will be to just hold the knot like that. We don't have to screw it like very tight, but I just want that the self-locking part of the knot locks, so that we don't have stuff unscrewing mid-flight. Yes, wonderful. Finally, for the antenna, I will just use a zip ties, and we can place it, because it's fiberglass, we can just place it inside. I'm very happy about this. It's a pretty cool concept and design, and you have everything in one place. Very nice to see. people thinking about the user, we will just add a little bit of glue on the UFL connector so that it doesn't come loose and burn our video transmitter mid-flight. Also not cool. Yes, so this is done. We can just slide it in the nose, push, and then there are like notches in the EPP that makes so that the camera is just like this in the front. Now we can put the wings on. One. Here. If I can do that. Yes, wonderful. And then we have the screws that we can just put in. 1 and 2. Now we can slide everything together. And the final thing, it's the O-ring. The O-ring must be inside between the wings, so we can just attach it to one side. On the other side, yes, like this. Perfect. Now we have the O-ring inside. Everything has its place. Clean, beautiful, very nice. Hi, congratulations for watching the video until the end. In the next part, we are gonna program the flight controller for the maiden flight and then do the maiden flight together with the PID adjusting and just have a little bit of fun. See ya!